Hi, I'm Sana Carpellotti, your quest for self-healing. Today, with the start of school, I thought that I would talk to you as a parent, and also if you're a college student or about to take a professional exam, that there are some things that you can do to improve your outcomes whenever you go to take a test. So, um, so a lot of people don't think about me as doing that type of work, but I have like prepared people for the LSATs, the MCATs, college entry exams, auditions, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to give you some easy tips and things that can be really helpful, so that especially if you have a younger child, so that you can set them up to have success whenever they test. So, and these are things that I've learned over time that are really effective at creating this internal state that that you can carry into the testing environment. Because see, that's the key thing here. How you study, okay, and how you set yourself up here will move with you and then give you tools to move into the test environment, because you will perform better. You'll perform better when your mind and body is calmer. Okay, and also you'll be able to retrieve the information that you processed in whenever you need it, and that is to put it out there on the exam or the test, whatever it is that you're taking. So a couple of things. Um, let's start with the study habit. Okay, so first of all, you do want to set up your environment, because that's really key. If you think about the testing environment, generally it's very clear. You have your, maybe a computer, I don't know, or a paper, a pencil, or a pen, and maybe something for math related, I don't know. But it's a very clean kind of uh, uh, environment. So you want to create that sort of environment at home. So if you think about the desk, you only want to have on the desk what it is that you're studying, if it's spelling, if it's history, and everything else is kind of put aside. I would highly recommend too that you train your children to please put the phone away while studying. Now, granted, I know a lot of work is done on the computer these days. However, what happens if you think about your electrical system in your house, because the body is an electrical system. When I study information, the information goes in through my senses and gets filtered through various pathways in the brain. So if you are continually, kind of checking your phone and disrupting the flow of information going into the brain, then it doesn't go down the right pathways and get distributed in the memory centers of the brain, and it can actually kind of fragment itself. So that being said, the environment that is set up is really critical to how much information they're able to take in at any given time. Because Dr. Restak, he's a neurologist, he says, I forget his first name, but he says that about 25 to 30 minutes is all that the brain can take in any sitting. So what do you do in that time period is that you get up, go get a drink of water, maybe you check your phone, you stretch the body, you separate yourself and allow the information to process. Because when I work with clients on to prepare for professional tests, what I hear is that within 30 to 45 minutes, some fatigue starts setting in. So, and you know, you can interpret that as being stressed. So that reduces the ability for the brain to take in the information that you want. So I always encourage them to stop about 5 minutes before they actually have this fatigue set in, so that they can kind of restore themselves and then return to the task at hand. So you know, and so for the younger kids, I encourage them to put on a favorite sweatshirt or to listen to some good music before. I mean, I always put in Guns N' Roses and rock and roll before I have to study or take in something. I don't know, it works for me. But so so keeping the space clear. Now, if you're studying something that is really very kind of left brain oriented, for example, math, okay, what you can do whenever you start getting kind of math brain fatigue is look at a magazine that has pictures, and just because that'll shift the brain energy. And you know, you just look at you know, I always ask clients, like, what do you like to look at? Like, for me, it's like recipes and yoga pictures. Well, you might like environmental pictures or sports or gardening or something like that. So stuff like that is really, really helpful when you're taking in a lot of information. So, so the other thing to think about is essential oils. I always have peppermint and also Intune. Now, these are doTERRA products, and I actually have my diffuser diffusing in my office because I have been you know, working in here all day. So peppermint has been found to increase retention and to improve memory by up to 32%. So if you're doing some of these things that I'm suggesting, you're going to improve your ability for the body to take in the information that you're studying. So what you can do is just simply inhale the peppermint, or you can put it on your pulse points here. Okay, or you can rub it on the bottom of your feet, on your socks, if you don't want to smell like a patty whenever you go in to take the test. But diffusing it, or even having it on your hands, and some kids, I'll kind of tell them to just do this, and to take a couple of big breaths in and exhale, extend the exhale, because that helps to keep engaged to the parasympathetic nervous system. So, so these are things that obviously, you know, you can set up the environment at home and then be prepared to use them on the way to the testing environment. So the other piece here is that anytime you have, when you sit down to study, you want to sit and take a breath and quiet your head, quiet your mind as much as possible. Because if you're trying to take information in and your brain is saying to you, oh geez, I really hate math, I'm never going to remember that, there's a conflict here. And again, as I said earlier, you want to keep those channels open as much as possible, because keep in mind, we take in information through our senses. So sometimes you might be listening to an audio, or you might be seeing and looking at diagrams or formulas. Obviously, I don't think there's anything you would smell except your oils. Or you might be working with your hands in some way. So the more modalities or senses that you use to take in the information, whether you record it or draw it out or tell yourself a story, you're inputting that information in lots of different channels. So that really can make a huge difference, because then you can access the you can access various channels whenever you're in, in the testing environment. So you want to take a look at what it is that you're saying. Now, a couple of months ago, I put on the my Facebook page, my professional page, which is Your Quest for Self-Healing, a EFT approach strategy that will help to clear your head like really quickly within 15 seconds. So if you teach your kids or you yourself on how to clear your head so that you can focus in and allow yourself to take in the information, it's really helpful. For example, if you hear your child saying, well, I don't really like this stuff, I don't want to study, I want to go outside. So you can tap and clear out those thought forms until they are clear-headed or reasonably clear-headed to turn their attention here. And especially with the younger kids, if you set it up where their attention spans may be a lot less, which they certainly are, like 15 to 20 minutes, and then allow them to get up, move, get some water, or listen to music, whatever, and then go back to it, especially if they are switching subjects, because different subjects in terms of how they're presented and whether they're more creative or logical or linear is going to kind of go into those or use the brain in a different way. So you always want to transition in between the different subjects. So when you prepare to go to the testing environment, you want to try to set yourself up internally to go to the testing environment as close to the study environment as possible. You can use breath by, again, extending the exhale will help you to to engage the calm parasympathetic nervous system. I always also tell people, my clients who come in for testing empowerment, to keep their feet on the floor. And if they feel like they need to get a little bit more grounded because maybe they're starting to think too much, or when they're answering questions, is to just shuffle their feet a little bit onto the floor, take a couple of breaths, and you also to use the peppermint oil on their hands and take a couple of breaths like this. So that will help to keep them centered and grounded, because once you start worrying, once you start kind of fretting about, geez, I don't know this. Did I study enough? Well, I mean, the stress is going to hamper your ability to retrieve the information that you work so hard to put into your brain. So again, you want to use your breath. And the simplest, easiest way is to extend the exhale. So you also want to remind yourself, like I like to remind my clients to come up with a little mantra for themselves, like, I got this, I can do it, this is my test. Because it gives them a mental focus, and how I show them, how I tell them to use it. Let's say, let's just use one of those, I got this. So if I think I got this, now not saying it out loud, just think, inhale and think I, exhale, think got this. So if you just do it like, it helps to, again, to kind of refocus the mind. So let's see, does anybody have any questions? I think I've covered everything. And I do want to say, if you want, I can send, let's see, if I can send this handout that I give to clients. So if you want to send me your email, I'll be happy to send you this PDF. I'm not sure that everything on here is that everything that I said today is on this PDF, but I'm more than happy to send that to you and answer any questions that you have. So I think that's all for now, unless somebody has a question. Hi, Maggie, Sophie, Dino, Cheryl, Rick, Kevin. I can't see who else is up there. So thank you all for coming. And if there's anything I can do for you or your kids so that they can do better in school, I'm here. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.